Welcome in, everybody. It's the coach. This is Madden 20 on EA Sports. Up next, we've got what should be an intriguing matchup between the Cleveland Browns and the Baltimore Ravens. With that, let's get up to M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore. There to call all the action, we welcome in our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Coach, thanks. CA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the Inner Harbor at M&T Bank Stadium here in Baltimore, Maryland. The two teams emerging from their respective tunnels a minute ago to the approval of this Baltimore crowd. They're all set as their Ravens will match up with the Cleveland Browns. Brandon Godden, Charles Davis, happy to be with you. And Charles, we've got two teams who know each other extremely well. These division games, they tend to be battles.
People scout like crazy in this league, but no one scouts more than within the division. Because if you win your division, you're automatically in the playoffs. That puts extra emphasis on these games, and they can't wait to get at each other.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This is taken at the 3. They'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. So here come the Ravens with their first look on offense. They will be led out by the former Heisman Trophy winner back in 2016. Always a handful to contain, Lamar Jackson. They'll run for the first time with Mark Ingram. They'll be brought down on the 30-yard line after a gain of 6.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. From the gun, it's a run for Ingram. And he'll be upended at the 33 following a gain of 3. And guess what? It brings up 3rd down. And a very good offensive unit here. One of the reasons they're so good is running back Mark Ingram.
Took a little while for him to find his footing when he got into the league, but the former Heisman Trophy winner has it now and has really upped his pass receiving potential. A nice player.
Just play number 3 here on the opening drive, and it's an early 3rd and 1. Jackson from the shotgun. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And 4th down now coming up.
Nice play there to force the incompletion. And to me, one thing's for sure. When you're the underdogs and you're playing on the road, you absolutely have to get takeaways. You've got to get the ball from them.
Yeah, win that turnover battle, going to be key. They didn't get one there, but you get the feeling they keep making plays like that, they might just get a few.
Yeah, once you get one, defensive teams think they come in bunches.
On is the punter, Cook, who sends it away. Great coverage there, holds him to a 2-yard return following a 50-yard punt. And the Browns will take over 1st and 10. Mayfield going to lead the Browns up now, 1st and 10 at their own 16. A first carry now for Nick Chubb. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. A loss of 2 there, 2nd down.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know. You know better than I. He has the ability to take over a game, so what do you do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, there's nothing but room to run.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Mayfield down. In trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line.
2 plays so far, a run and a pass attempt, and both have gone backwards.
Probably not how they drew that up.
Not at
all. Looking for a better play coming up on 3rd. After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
Mayfield to throw it. And he's going to go down right near the goal line. The officials look at each other. They're going to mark him at the 1-yard line. Marching in for the sack, Matthew Judon.
I think most quarterbacks would love to have the goal line actually extend up into the air and turn into a wall. They can put their back against it and know exactly where they are on the field so they don't end up in the end zone. Didn't do it on that play, but perilously close to the goal line.
Here's Jamie Gillen now. And no room for error here as his first punt comes from deep in his own end zone. So a short drop, but he's able to get it out, and this is a good kick. Here's Thomas. 12 yards on the return that time. And the Ravens, they'll take over. Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field. And on the first drive, 3 and out. And I know that these are professional athletes, but I would imagine sometimes you get the nerves at the beginning of a game still, don't you?
Those don't ever go away. And typically what I've heard from guys and what I remember from playing, if you don't have nerves at the start of a game, it's not going to be a great day for you. You're not really ready to play. So finding a way to harness those nerves and not let them affect you in a negative way, that's what all the guys are looking for.
Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10, just shy of midfield at the 49. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. They get 14 on that one. That's good for a Baltimore first down.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it could be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some defense.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Now it's Ingram. And they're able to get this one past the 30 down to the 25. 12 yards to pick up there. Good for a Raven first. Getting the sense, Charles, they're going to put a big emphasis this afternoon on the run game.
And why not? What we're seeing so far, it's working pretty well from them. And here's the best part. We always talk about the best performers do their job when the lights come on. I think he likes natural light best.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. They run. It's Mark Ingram. They get him to the ground right on the cusp of the red zone after a pickup of 5 or 6. And here's the starting crew defensively for Cleveland.
Sheldon Richardson's talent is absolutely immense. And when he plays on the defensive line, it's a difficult task to block him.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. They'll run. This is Gus Edwards. And this one goes nowhere, losing yardage back at the 22. The second down play results in a loss of 2 yards.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Check pass, check pass.
On third down, Jackson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Larry Ogunjobi in for the sack.
We always talk about how teams are so competitively matched, and you just want to make those plays that give you an advantage. How about right here? The difference between letting them score a touchdown versus holding them to a field goal, that's absolutely huge with the play he just made.
And you know he hated taking the loss there on third down. So on fourth down, here's the Ravens Pro Bowl kicker, Justin Tucker, out onto the field. It'll come from the right hash. It's a 47-yard attempt. And his kick is absolutely perfect. And the Ravens strike first at 3-zip. So as it turns out, that sack doesn't wind up costing them, Charles. They at least get points, get 3 of them.
Yeah, that's where your kicker can really come to your rescue because you know after the sack there was a little consternation there. Are we out of field goal range? Are we going to be able to get 3? In this case, he stepped right up and gave them exactly what they needed.
Tucker now following the made field goal, set to kick it away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. And they'll certainly be trying to do better than that first drive where they went 3 and out.
And sometimes the first drive is just simply to settle nerves. You know what it's like at the start of a game with the emotion. Guys a little bit jumpy.
But you do.
Oh, you understand the same way. It's just like us calling one, right? Making sure we ease into the game, let it come to us.
Well, you went 3 and out.
And now they have that opportunity.
No, you didn't go 3 and out. I went 3 and out on that first time. I'll try to do better here. Mayfield going to lead the Browns up now, 1st and 10 at their own 24. Mayfield looks to throw. And it's hauled in by Austin Hooper. And he's got this almost to the 40 before going out. A good pickup there for the Browns, 15 yards.
A lot of tight ends just use their size and their strength, try to occupy some space and kind of body people away and catch the football. But not this guy. He's a refined route runner. Makes me wonder if he took some dance classes in his background with his footwork.
From up near the 40 now after the big play to start. Here's another 1st and 10. Mayfield hands it off to Chubb. So a nice job to break the 1 tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8. This offense has a lot to account for, but at the top of the defense's list is OBJ.
I'm not sure how you really game plan for him because no matter what you do, he finds a way to uncover himself downfield. And the speed gets it from his mom, a former sprinter at LSU.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Here's Mayfield. And finding the tight end Hooper. And the play goes nowhere, losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. And never good on a pass completion there to go the wrong way, lost yardage.
No, for some reason it seems to work better when you throw it downfield or you can move the ball downfield running it that way, doesn't it? But in this case, if you're the defensive guys, you're energized, executed well, and you caused a lost yardage play. That's going to feel good and look great in film.
The threat of a second straight punt to start the game is looming as they come up 3rd and 10. From the shotgun, it's Mayfield. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Like a freight train off the edge, Calais Campbell with a sack. And that is the third sack this offensive line has allowed this first quarter.
Yeah, that puts him on pace. Let me do the rudimentary math here. To be sacked 12 times in a game, I know he's not going to go for that. I wonder if it's going to reshape what they decide to do on offense in terms of play calling.
Well, I can tell you what, when he popped up, shaking his head, frustrated right now behind center. Here's Jamie Gillen now, as he'll kick it away for the second time. A good return there, call it 13 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. They've got a 3-0 lead and the football as they start 1st and 10. Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10, just shy of the 30. They'll run with Ingram here to begin the drive. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
On 2nd and 7, Jackson firing quickly here, and that's complete. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a 1st down. This is Ingram on 1st and 10. And not a lot of daylight, not really any daylight inside, as he's going to be stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Brings up 2nd down.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker, and what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
Throwing on 2nd down, Jackson. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. In for the sack, Myles Garrett. You never want to give up a sack. From the O-line's perspective, they hate it for several reasons, especially because they felt like they let little brother down back there in the pocket.
Oh, no doubt. They have a ton of pride, and they go into every job wanting to keep that guy clean. They want that uniform with no grass stains, no dirt, nothing on it. But it's really, really difficult. You're talking about some terrific athletes who are trying to put him on the ground.
Now after that sack, it's 3rd and long for Jackson and the Ravens. On 3rd down, Jackson. He's got his man. It's Andrews. And he can only get this to the 42-yard line. And that is not near enough. 2 yards is all they'll get on the completion. It's 4th down. I think defensively you're okay with that. You're in the first quarter. He's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on. And I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
And this is going to hit the goal line and continue on into the end zone for a touchback. Heading back out, Baker Mayfield, as we call up our player spotlight. And maybe he's starting to wave the white flag a little bit. He's playing pretty well, but the pressure, it's got to it.
Has to find a way to step around it, step through it, or just handle it. Because as you mentioned, he's having a pretty good day overall. Just the hits keep coming and taking those sacks. That's not the way that they want to finish a ball game with their quarterback on the ground so much.
He'd like to stay upright. When he's been upright, he's been pretty good. The Browns drive about to get started. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, Everyone talks about converting on third down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a first down and change our momentum? Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. A run for Nick Chubb, and he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
Plays like we just saw there, that's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
They go with Chubb on 2nd down. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That's good for a Cleveland first down, an 11-yard pickup.
Yeah, they really needed to get something going, didn't they? They had punted on the last 2 possessions. The running game starting to come to the front for them, providing a nice pickup there to keep this drive going.
On 1st down, they'll run with Chubb. He had a great move, but he'll still be stopped shy of midfield. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early, because they will pay dividends as the game progresses.
A good run, got 7 on 1st. Here's 2nd and 3.
You got 3 down.
They'll try to throw here. Mayfield. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he's going to be taken down with the first down at the Ravens 39.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a first down.
Throwing, Mayfield. Gets this to Kareem Hunt, his running back. And he gets this down inside the 35 before going out of bounds. The starters now defensively for Baltimore.
Calais Campbell is one of the tallest defensive ends in the league. Has the ability to get low and play the run, and adds excellent kick blocking ability.
Second and 5 after the 5-yard completion on first down.
Watch the pass. Hey, switch gears.
Now they return to the ground game. Chubb. And they'll get this one down to about the 20-yard line. 13 yards to pick up there. Good for a Cleveland first.
Well, they came into this game saying it was important that they set the tone and show that they can run the football. And I believe that they've done that here in the first quarter.
A first red zone opportunity for the Browns thus far. 1st and 10 right at the 20. A first carry now for Kareem Hunt. Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage. And no more. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down.
All right, quick observation, Brandon, because early on in this game, I'm seeing linebackers playing with their noses close to the line of scrimmage.
And my guess is the wheels are turning on that other sideline. As a play caller, you're filing that away right now, aren't you?
Yeah, you're trying to find that opportunity later on when you can play action them or stick something to them between the 2nd and the 3rd level.
And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. That was the 9th play of the drive, and they pick up 9 yards with it. So 3rd and inches, and this will be the 9th play of the drive. They'll run for it. Here's Chubb. Runs through another. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a first and goal.
And that's the big fella's MO right there. Running through tackles, keeping the sticks moving forward. This defense, if you don't bring 11 guys to the ball to try and get him on the ground, he's going to keep making runs like that. I feel the press box shaking every time he touches the rock.
What's tight? Tight is right. What's tight? Tight is right.
3-0 after one on EA Sports.
Let's go, boys. Let's go.
They'll give it to Chubb. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
They come out here in the eye.
Pick it up, guys. Pick it up.
On second and goal, Mayfield. And that's going to be caught for a Browns touchdown. From a yard out, and the Browns have taken the lead. So they go play action, 3 tight ends out there in the heavy set.
Well, they showed everything that suggested running play. Just what you mentioned, 3 tight ends, heavy formation, able to go play action off of it because if you're a defender, you're thinking it's a running play with that much beef on the field.
But they passed it, and they got 6 out of it. Austin Seibert on for the extra point. And this is up and good to make it 7-3. That one in the books as a 12-play drive. And it ends with a touchdown for Cleveland. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line.
Let's go.
And we shift our attention to Mark Ingram. He's been good. They've utilized him well, but they're losing here in the second quarter. What might they change offensively?
I think that what you try and do is expand how you get the ball to him a little bit. Get him out in open space, maybe swing the ball to him. What's that they used to call it in the West Coast offense, the long handoff?
Yeah.
Serve as your running play that way, as well as continue to feed him the football. Some of these runs now may pop bigger later in the game because of the effects of running it. Sometimes people, after a while, they don't want to tackle him anymore, or they get tired, or they get out of position, or he runs through tackles. Continue to feed him the ball. He's having that kind of game.
Yeah, might they get him the ball in some space in some different ways here. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7. The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Quick throw taken in by Snead. No gain that time on the completion, and it'll be third down.
Well, the stats that matter on this play don't help a team very much unless, of course, you're playing defense.
If you're getting points per reception, you got a reception, but no yardage. Great job by the defense, though. They read through that one.
They read through it, gave up no yardage, and people got credit for tackles. Pretty good deal.
To throw on third down, Jackson. And this is going to be incomplete. Not much going on this drive. Looks like they're going to have to punt it away, CD.
And right now, I know a lot of their fans are screaming for the OC to change things up, get away from what he's been calling. Sometimes you just need better execution of the plays that have been called.
Here's Sam Cook now as he's on to punt for Baltimore. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Oh, able to avoid him. That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And out will come the offense as they take over. Kareem Hunt and the rest of the offense making their way back out there. A good job in the passing game, decent job in the running game, but really they've been more effective through the air. We'll see if that shifts at all as this goes on.
Thus far, it feels like they're calling this game in reverse. Normally you run to set up the pass. Here it feels like they're passing, hoping to set up the run and be more effective later on in the game.
Yeah, you can do it both ways. We usually talk about it in the reverse, however.
No doubt about it.
Mayfield going to lead the Browns up now, 1st and 10 at their own 18. Mayfield throwing quickly out to Beckham. And he'll get it up here this time to the 21. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
On 2nd and 7, Mayfield. And they're not able to hook up there. Incomplete. Defensively, celebration time because they finally forced an incompletion. He was perfect throwing the ball to that point.
Yeah, but from his viewpoint, they didn't force the incompletion. He just missed. That's how hot he is right now, and that's how he wants to continue to throw the ball.
The Browns on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 7. Now Mayfield, and he's got the hook up to Landry. And they're going to have this in a great spot way down in Baltimore territory. A big play there on the catch and run. 64 yards. Excellent execution, and now they're set up nicely.
Are they ever? Red zone? I wonder what the next play call is going to be, because after a big play like that, a lot of teams like to use the momentum to launch another one.
So on the other side of the field now, it's 1st and 10 as they've got things rolling on this drive. On the carry, it's Chubb. And he can't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another 1st down.
Now this is an example of breaking down a defense, because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
They'll run with Chubb. And after the good gain last play, this time they say, as he's going to be stopped behind the line of scrimmage. And that sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to 2nd down.
And that loss of yards there is not just on him. It's on the guys blocking for him. I mean, they're supposed to create some type of space or at least get a stalemate. They end up letting them through, and they ended up tackling him for a loss.
So they're backed up to the 3-yard line, 2nd and goal. To throw, Mayfield. Rush coming, and he's taken down.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
They need to reverse the trend. The last two plays have gone backwards. Now it's 3rd and goal. Mayfield. They'll go screen here to Hunt. They are able to get 9 yards out of that, but now it's 4th down.
I wonder what was going through his mind when he got the play call. He just got sacked on the previous play. He knows they're coming after him again. A little bit of guts to stand in there, take the hit, and successfully complete the screen pass. Really well done.
So on 4th down, out comes the Browns kicker, Austin Seibert. From the left hash, a chip shot here. Seibert's kick is good. And they push the lead up to a touchdown now at 10-3. A good drive gets them inside the 5, but they could not punch it in.
And credit the defense, too. Make sure that happens, because that was the old bend but don't break approach. Made sure they contained them when they absolutely had to and forced the field goal attempt that went through.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This will be taken in at the 1. And it'll be taken down just past the 20 at about the 21-yard line. Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field. Just a lone field goal for them so far, trailing 10-3 as they come up 1st and 10. Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 21. From the gun, Jackson. He goes underneath to Ingram. 6 yards on the pickup, and that'll make this a 2nd down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. They run from the pistol with Ingram. That one a 1st down pickup of 8.
That's it, baby. We're going to work.
I think you mentioned in the opening drive that these guys needed to establish the run, protect the young QB. I actually wrote that down, believe it or not. So how would you assess things so far?
I'm kind of touched that you actually wrote something like that down. I appreciate that, partner. But I do think they've been able to do that. Maybe not as effectively as they've wanted to, but I think we'll see more of as this game goes along because they want to continue to take care of that young QB.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Jackson now. Catch is made by Marquise Brown. A gain of 6 there on 1st. And just a small glimpse there as to why they like this rookie so much.
And that's why they lit up a little bit in our meetings with the coaching staff, didn't they?
Yeah, when we talked about him, they did.
Yeah, you know, they like his work ethic. You know, this guy's running every route well in the route tree and getting better at it all the time, really honing his game. They expect a pretty good jump out of him as things continue to move on.
To throw again on 2nd down. Jackson on the crossing route, complete. That's Andrews. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a 1st down.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. A 10th carry here for Mark Ingram. And no room to maneuver there. Give him a yard up to the 47.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
On second down, it's Ingram. And he's going to take this across the 50 into Browns territory. Call it a gain of 4, and it'll leave them with a 3rd down and 6 to go.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice gain like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
And he's got Snead. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. That one nearly 30 yards, 29 officially. Jackson and the offense come up 1st and 10. And he's 4 for 4 now, throwing the ball to start the drive. Out of the gun, they give to Ingram. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
That's a strong pickup right there on 1st down. And as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
The 1st down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. On the draw, this is Ingram. And they see right through that defensively as he'll be hit and taken down to the backfield. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And they're going to have a 3rd down.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
The Ravens on 3rd down. Just 1 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 7. From the gun, it's Jackson. And this is caught at the 8. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Well, they've had a great, impressive drive going here, and that pickup ensures the drive continues.
And not only do you continue the drive, which is demoralizing for the guys on the defensive side of the ball right now, but you make your own defense happy. They're able to get a little more rest over on the sidelines while this one continues downfield.
Let's go. Mike is a 15. Check Mike 15. Let's make these babies cry all the way back home.
Throwing is Jackson. And the throw left sideline here is caught, but they'll rule it incomplete. Couldn't keep his feet in. 2nd down. By the way, I got to apologize because I just realized for about the last 4 or 5 plays, I'm eking over into your territory up here in the booth. My bad. I'm going to get back over to my spot.
Yeah, we're not talking about our on-air commentary. I mean, what is all this extra paper? I mean, this is unusual for you.
My bad.
Normally you run a really tight ship. What's going on here?
Just like that incomplete pass, I'm going to try to tighten things up here for this next play. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
Partner, I know we're in a goal-to-go situation, but my goodness, think about running the ball here. Not even a thought, is it?
Defensively, they're in a prime spot.
And I think the defensive guys are probably expressing themselves to them as well. I wouldn't run it here, guys. You might want to try throwing it.
This has been a long drive. You got to figure a field goal would be a letdown. Can they convert now on 3rd and goal? Now Jackson from the gun. He'll throw. Flush to his right. He can run, and he will score. Touchdown, Baltimore. An 8-yard touchdown run as they are an extra point away now from tying this football game.
That's a tough one there defensively because look at the stops they got on 1st and 2nd down, and it's 1st and 2nd and goal. And then on 3rd down, they cover the receivers, but they leave an alley open for him to find, and he does. That is frustrating. You do almost everything right, and he still ends up in the end zone.
Justin Tucker for the extra point. And he'll put it through, and that evens us up at 10 apiece. So that drive spans 13 plays, and it was capped off by the touchdown run that came from Lamar Jackson. All level now at 10 apiece as the kick's away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll wind up getting an extra couple yards here for his trouble as he'll bring this one out to the 27. Heading out as the Cleveland offense now as they get set to take over here. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
Mayfield going to lead the Browns up now 1st and 10 at their own 27. They start on the ground with Nick Chubb. And they're able to get this one across the 35. It's a gain of 10, and the Browns are going to get a first down.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral, also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
Watch the screen.
From the gun, Mayfield. And nowhere to fit that football in. It's knocked away and incomplete. Austin Hooper, the tight end, was the intended target. And it's 2nd down.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the 2nd quarter, a lot of time to change things. They run, Chubb, and this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards.
Well, this play sequence was really kind of called in reverse. Incomplete pass on 1st and 10. Nice run on 2nd and 10 when probably everyone was expecting them to throw the football. Now, if you're the defense, what are they going to do on 3rd down? You're a little off balance.
Push him back. Push him back.
3rd and short yardage. Mayfield. He finds Beckham complete. And he's going to be taken down with the first down at the Ravens' 45-yard line. If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is, because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the defender does.
So in Raven territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. On the ground, it's Chubb. And able to push forward for right around 3 yards down to the 42. Well, earlier this half, you were wondering how they were going to defend him. I think you used the term bottle him up at different levels. They've struggled to do that.
They certainly have, because when you see them approach, in order to bottle them up at different levels, that front line's got to take care of business. Otherwise, he starts to sift through.
Chubb on the counter. And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down. Second quarter, 2 minutes to go. Tie ball game. Fans, a reminder, I have a note card here that says ad-lib halftime previews. So I guess let's do just that as we'll hand things over to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando when this one reaches halftime. Did I do okay?
You did great. Not a bad job.
Hey.
Writing down your ad-libs.
If you print it, I'm going to read it. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Just a little beyond the reach there of his receiver. That's probably one he wishes he had back.
He wishes it had been 7-on-7 in practice, or maybe even routes versus air, because that's a completion he makes, 9.9 times out of 10? Just missed that one.
Here's Jamie Gillen now as he's on to punt for Cleveland. And this will carry out of bounds. Where are they going to spot it now? At about the 18-yard line, it looks like. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. Last time they were out here, they had the benefit of good field position, led to a touchdown. This time, they're going to have to work for it.
They are, but with that last drive that culminated in a touchdown, I think they carry that confidence into this one. Doesn't matter where you start with the football now, they have to feel great about their opportunity.
Jackson on first down. This will be caught by Brown. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. They get 14 on that one. That's good for a Baltimore first down.
Well, they obviously read man coverage their partner, and he got downfield, broke down the defender, made him
What do you mean by that?
He made him think he was going to run a different route. Probably thought he was going to take it upfield. Then he curls back inside for the completion.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete.
NFL quarterbacks work so hard on their mechanics, and they do so much repetition in practice, off-season, the whole deal. They expect it to be autopilot once the games start. That way it eliminates any type of pressure of the game, pressure of people in your face, all of that. That didn't shine through on that throw, though, did it?
No. A little bit of a dangerous pass and off target, too. And he's going to keep it here. He'll wind up getting 4 there on his own, but it will leave him now with a third down situation. Creeping up on a minute to play in this first half. Jackson to throw on third down. And a quick throw here, that's complete. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half.
Mike Popo, let's get the ball.
Jackson on first down. Looking left side, Andrews with it complete. The Ravens going to use the second of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Jackson now 11 of 15 through the air. Here's first and 10. Jackson from the shotgun, steps away. Now he'll pull it down. He'll get the first down and more inside the 20. Turns out to be a great idea to tuck that one. Good for 24 yards.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the third one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
Throwing on first down, it's Jackson. This will be caught at about the 5. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. Ravens going to use their third and final timeout as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number 1. One receiver right, that's Brown. Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. Here's Jackson. That'll be incomplete as the clock will stop with 14 seconds remaining. He was looking for his tight end, Mark Andrews, there, and it's 3rd and short. The 8th play of the drive coming up. It's 3rd and 3. Here's Jackson, operating from the gun. To the goal line, but it's incomplete. So they won't get a touchdown, but here's a chance to at least get 3 to end the first half. From the right hash, and this one just a chippy. And Tucker's kick right there. It's good. And they will take the lead at 13-10. So we will not go into the lockers tied. We do have a leader in the clubhouse, so to speak.
Yeah, it's only 3 points. Doesn't seem like much, but it looms big the way that they got it done right before the half ended.
Tucker now following the made field goal, set to kick it away. This is taken at the 3. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. The Browns drive about to get started. Likely time for just one final play, and then it'll be off to the locker room to talk about how they can erase this deficit.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people look at it and go, well, maybe you take a shot here. Maybe you get some momentum going into the half. What's the flip side of that? You do something crazy, quarterback gets hit, ball comes free, and now you're down an even bigger margin. Go ahead and take this one, go to the locker room, start over.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much, and welcome everyone to this abridged version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. This one's been as good as advertised. Just a field goal separating these two teams as they've already made their way back out of the locker room. So to bring you the story of the second half, let's get you right back out to Brandon Godden.
Thank you, sir. A field goal separates these two teams as we come back for this second half. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This is taken at the 3. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. Here's the Browns offense now getting set to start off this third quarter. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. The third quarter starts with a run by Chubb. Able to shake free for about 7 up to the 35.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. Mayfield to throw it. It's caught. Beckham. Big yardage there for the Browns, 18.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
So in Raven territory now. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 47. Here's Mayfield going for the deep ball. This is caught inside the 15. And it's a fumble. And it's picked up by the Ravens. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
It's not often that we see big plays end in disaster, and we just absolutely saw it right there. They had something really big cooking on that one.
Can you, when you're down near the goal line like that on a big play, do you get maybe a little too careless, a little too desperate for the goal line?
I think the last part is exactly right. You get desperate for the goal line, and sometimes you get the ball out of it, away from your body, or you're trying to extend to get there, or maybe you're just trying so hard that the ball will come out of your hands. In any event, that's a big opportunity lost.
The Ravens offense getting ready now for their first possession of the second half. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point?
The kicker.
Exactly. He put it through the post. That's going to help him at contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him at contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
Toe bash.
I don't know about
toe
that.
Bashed it.
Super toe.
It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down.
And that's what this defense is going to need to do more in the second half. Good pressure that time, forces some indecision in the backfield. He's going to wind up being taken down for a nice loss.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Now Ingram, he's been busy today, and he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up 3rd down.
And plays like that are exactly what this defense needs here early in the second half to give it a little spark. I think their halftime adjustments, what they talked about, maybe it was just a little inspirational speech. Who knows? But looks like they're ready to go.
So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. From the gun, Jackson. The D-tackle Sheldon Richardson came barreling in for the sack. So they come out of the locker room trailing, but plays like that, they won't be trailing much longer. Defense really starting out well this second half.
Yeah, they knew they had to jumpstart things a little bit. They really struggled in the first half trying to slow them down, but now they had a plan, made that adjustment that we always talk about, and it worked very well on that play.
Here's Sam Cook now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Here's Natson. It'll be a 51-yard punt that time. And the Browns have a short field in front of them now as they take over 1st and 10. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. And last time the turnover on the fumble, and they were in enemy territory, so that had to be very frustrating. Down on the scoreboard here, can't do it again.
You nailed every part of what was frustrating. Down on the scoreboard, had a drive going, had pushed it past the 50-yard line so they felt like they were in striking distance, and to come away with nothing, not a good feeling at all, to put it mildly. Now they can't afford to do that again.
Yeah, now can they get that bad taste out of their mouth here? Now a play fake here on first down. He's going to look for Beckham in the end zone. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's second down.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually that becomes man on man, and you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Now a man open down the middle of the field. And he's going to get this inside the 30. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains. Mayfield now 13 out of 17 throwing the ball. He's got a first down. Now Chubb. And an alley to run. And he takes it down to the 10-yard line. Another good gain. That's now 35 yards combined on those last 2 plays.
Boy, where would these guys be without his performance on the ground? That puts him over 100 yards now for the afternoon, and I tell you, he seems to be getting stronger as the day goes along.
Two big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. Working out of the gun, Mayfield. That one is caught by Hunt. And he'll get this down inside the 5 to the 4 before he's out of bounds. That'll bring up 2nd and goal after the gain of 5.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Second and goal from inside the 5.
Double time, double time. Hey, you got 3 down.
Now Chubb running right. And he's in. Touchdown, Browns. Taking it in from 4 yards out. And once again, the Browns are back in front. Solid job up front. Really just a solid job all the way around to get that one in.
That was well executed, wasn't it? Well blocked, well run. End result, 6 points.
Touchdown. Here's Seibert now to add the extra point. And that will make this a 4-point game. 5 plays there on that drive. And Nick Chubb the one to finish it off as he does so with a touchdown run. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he breaks it all the way out to the 38-yard line. Great return. The Ravens offense now, they get set and head back onto the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
If you're a selfish player and you're throwing the ball, you're cool with the completion. Maybe not so cool with the yardage loss, though, huh?
Yeah, you went backwards on the yardage. Hey, it kind of works like a sack for the defense there.
Yeah, it's a really big play for them, right? Able to figure it out, sniff it out, and finish it off.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12.
That's what I do.
Operating from the gun. Jackson throwing middle, but it's incomplete.
All right, that one fell incomplete there, but the best quarterbacks, they'll miss on 40% of their throws, somewhere in that neighborhood, similar to a great hitter in baseball who's going to fail 7 out of 10 times and still have a great year. In this case, you want perfection, but way better that it hits the ground instead of going to an opposite color jersey.
Jackson. He may try and run for this. A solid run of 11 there as he tucked it and ran, but he's still short of the marker, and it's 4th.
I liked his effort there. He got it done on his own. But let's face it, he puts defenses in a really stressful spot when he takes off and runs because a lot of guys have coverage responsibilities.
Good job of rallying, though, because I thought when he first took off, he might pick up the 1st down. This is away and a very good kick, angled for the sidelines. Out of bounds and close. The question, was it a touchback? No. They'll say it crossed out at the 2-yard line. Excellent placement, and off that bounce, Charles, I didn't know where it was going to go. It can be an inexact science as to where they place it, but they say the 2-yard line.
Yeah, I don't know how they really determined that. And let's face it, at the end of that play, one side's going to be happy, the other team's going to be unhappy. It's like, what do they do, shorten the hypotenuse? I mean, how do they figure that out? You know that stuff. You're the smart guy.
No, that's you, partner. The Browns drive about to get started, and they will begin with, should we call it, far from ideal starting field position, their own 2-yard line.
So what's your definition of ideal?
The 1-yard line on the other side of the field.
Yes, exactly right. So yes, your definition is apropos in this case. Really shouldn't be a surprise. It's going to be hard to move people in this situation. You know they're going to bring the pressure defensively, because I remember playing in these spots, and my coaches always say, don't be afraid to try and create a safety, too. They're going to bring pressure.
And again, it's Chubb. He'll try to get forward, but he's going to be stopped in his tracks at about the 3. No gain on the play there, so that doesn't help. Now they're looking up at a 3rd and 9 situation. They'd like to avoid punting from their own end zone, so they could use something here on 3rd down. Chubb. And he's going to be taken down shy of the 5-yard line. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it's going to leave him with a 4th down.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Here's Jamie Gillen now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. And he's able to get it out of there, and this is a pretty good kick. Returnable for Thomas. We'll call that an even 50 yards on the punt with 7 on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. And the Ravens taking the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
Baltimore with good starting field position as they come up 1st and 10, just shy of midfield at the 49. The drive starts here with a carry by Ingram, and he's going to take this across the 50 into Browns territory. Call it a gain of 4 on 1st, and that'll make it 2nd down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down, a very solid gain on that play.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Ingram again. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. 12 yards to pick up there. Good for a Raven first.
That's pretty much meat and potatoes right there, wasn't it? Just go right at them and let your big horse charge up the middle. Not too fancy there, was it?
Nothing fancy at all, challenging that defense. And on that go-around, the offense won the challenge. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Ingram. Nothing doing. Barely able to muster a yard to hit the 35.
That play reminded me a lot of a former teammate of mine. We used to call him the trash man. His ability to sift through traffic and make plays was uncanny.
And that's exactly what you want from your Mike linebacker. Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. And a 20th carry now for Ingram. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain on the play there, so that doesn't help. Now they're looking up at a 3rd and 9 situation. They've called his number a lot this afternoon. You wonder how much tread is left on those tires.
We certainly do, but I always think back to one of my favorite coaches in the NFL, and he used to have a meeting with his running backs every year in the offseason and say, look, as many times as you're going to carry the ball, you should be able to carry it one more time, so make sure you get in shape.
And he's brought down, but not before he reaches the 8-yard line. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
These type of plays are backbreakers for our defense. They thought they had him hemmed in, thought they were going to get him on the ground with the pass rush, but were unable to do so. He gets away, picks up a big 1st down, and sets up 1st and goal inside the 10.
They'll run here with Ingram. And he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. Give him 2 yards on that one. 2nd and goal now. Defensively, pretty good start there with their backs against the wall.
That's a win for the stop troops right there. And if I'm them, I get a little bolder now. They won the first battle. Keep coming after them. Put the pressure on them.
The 6-yard line, the line of scrimmage on 2nd and goal. Now it's Jackson. He's going to find his tight end Boyle. And a minuscule gain of maybe a yard from the 6 to the 5. They get only a yard there. Now it's 3rd and goal.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
3rd and goal, Jackson. Escaping the pressure. And he will score. Touchdown, Baltimore. Lamar Jackson, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Ravens have once again taken the lead. They were looking to pass the ball there, but they forgot to account for the man with the football.
Yeah, I can hear people right now saying, well, why don't you have a spy in your defense, someone who will dance with him and go where he goes? Well, oftentimes if you utilize a spy, you've taken away someone in coverage as well. And oftentimes, the spy, not as athletic as the guy he's trying to keep up with, so he gets defeated anyway.
And he turns 3rd and goal into a touchdown. Tucker now to add the point after. And that one gives him a 3-point lead. So that drive in total 8 plays. And it was capped off by the touchdown run that came from Lamar Jackson. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. There's Baker Mayfield as he and the Browns offense comes back out. He's been pretty solid, pretty consistent, just the one touchdown pass, but I think he's managed the game well, no?
I would agree with you, and that's what you're looking for out of your field leader, making sure that you're playing well and not making any big mistakes. Oftentimes, that's how you're judged. How big a mistake and when it occurs. No interception so far. They'll like that.
I just want you to know that you agreeing with me, that's going to get me through this third and fourth quarter. Are you touched? He's patting it. Now Mayfield lost the football.
On plays like this, when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is a quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. Mayfield hands it off to Chubb. Call it a gain of 5 that time, and they'll be left with a 3rd and about 4.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. From the shotgun, it's Mayfield. It's caught by OBJ. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. Here's Jamie Gillen now as he's on for the 5th time here today. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. Great coverage there. Holds him to a 2-yard return following a 50-yard punt. And now here come the Ravens. And it's a unit last drive that did it all on the ground, Charles.
And they controlled it from the interior, big on big, right? Offensive lineman versus defensive lineman. But you know, in order to keep the football moving downfield, other people have to get involved as well. Your wide receivers, your tight ends, lead runners, anything that you have possible to get in front and keep the ball moving.
And now the defense may be looking out for a pass coming up. Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 18. Now it's Jackson. He's got his man. It's Andrews. And he'll get it up here this time to the 21. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
That 1st down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7.
Even, 4 down, even.
Stepping up, he'll try and run. And he'll be corralled right around the 34. That one good for 13 and a Raven 1st down.
Well, partner, for a few years there, we thought this read option play was going to take over the whole NFL. It seemed like everyone was using it, but it has been scaled back considerably in the last few seasons, mainly because people are worried about their quarterbacks getting hit. But when you call it at the right time and you use it properly, you see the type of gains you can get. A nice chunk of yardage there by the quarterback.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10.
Check 43.
Now Jackson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The #1 pick, Myles Garrett, coming in to drop him.
Brandon, more often than not, you'd say they've had his number, and we can count them up so far. 1, 2, 3, 4 sacks given up. But guess what? He's still been able to make some plays, and right now they have a lead.
After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. Jackson. He'll try and run it. He'll wind up getting 4 there on his own, but it will leave him now with a 3rd down situation.
Looked to me like they adopted what my kindergarten teacher always said. If at first you don't succeed, try again. And finally, able to hold him in check. He'd been carving him up running the ball.
That's the first time I think I've seen where the coverage was good downfield and they accounted for him and stopped him for a short pickup.
Yeah, I don't think it was a big adjustment, but much more emphasis on making sure they knew where he was when he decided to take off and go.
Nothing doing on that one, and it'll be 4th down.
They dialed up the blitz on 3rd down, and your worry is a defense, that they can hit you with a big play in that situation. Instead, the blitz pays off, able to rally to the football and make the play.
Here's Sam Cook now. He's been terrific so far. He can't bring him down.
The weight room does work.
We play to win. Let's go.
And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. The Browns drive about to get started, and they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to
so
something
well,
else.
and maybe try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
That pass play wound up for negative yardage, so here's 2nd and 11. Now Mayfield. And finding the tight end Hooper. 14 yards, and it's a Cleveland 1st down. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
Mayfield now a perfect 8 for 8 to start the 2nd half. Not bad. 1st and 10. Mayfield now. And he completes it to Hunt. Call it a pickup of 7, and it'll be a 2nd down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Able to get 7 on that 1st down pass play. 2nd and 3. Mayfield tosses one complete to Landry. And this winds up a pickup of 2, maybe 2.5 to about the 39. The Browns on 3rd down. They've converted a 1/3 of their opportunities, 3 for 9. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. Chubb will get the call running left. He's got a 1st down and then some at midfield. And he'll take this down to the 40-yard line. That's good for 21 yards and a 1st down.
Another carry for their leader and a good one. It's crunch time. They'll need him to continue to be productive in both the run and passing game in order for them to try and snatch a victory.
So in Raven territory now. Here's a 1st and 10 right at the 40. From the gun, Mayfield. And he's got the hook up to Landry. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. That's now a pair of explosive plays in succession, both north of 20 yards. And that last reception puts him over 150 yards now on the game, Charles.
And now it's not just execution. It's not just performance. It's a mental aspect that's going on. Because right now, he has got the defense so much on their heels, got them looking at each other. Who's going to cover this guy, and what type of coverage can we put out there to try and slow him down?
Mayfield brings him up 1st and 10, and he's hit on all 5 of his pass attempts on this drive so far. Mayfield. Blitz coming, and down he goes. It's a safety blitz and a sack for Earl Thomas.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. Throwing, Mayfield. Gets this to Kareem Hunt, his running back. And he'll be out of bounds as he gets this down about the 21 or 22. The Browns on 3rd down. They're right at about the league average, 40%, 4 for 10. This is 3rd and 14. Mayfield looks to throw. This is caught. It's so close. He gets it to the 1. Out of bounds right there. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a 1st down.
So a challenge is upon us. I tell you, close game, 4th quarter. This is a huge decision.
Oh, no doubt about that, partner. A lot has to be riding on this call. And you know it is a tight one because it has to be indisputable visual evidence in order to change it. Now here's the big question. Do they actually have that evidence?
We're about to find out.
The head coach relied on his eagle eye in the sky to make the right call and was told to challenge it, and it looks like it's paid off.
And from a coach's standpoint, when you throw that flag, it's probably a pretty tense moment. Here it pays off.
Yeah, you have that little bit of indecision. You throw it where you feel like you're right, and then you think, uh-oh, did I get it right? In this case, they can celebrate.
To throw, Mayfield. And this is caught. Touchdown, Cleveland. Odell Beckham there to make the grab as his guys are able to regain the lead.
1st and goal. Forget running the football. Forget establishing anything. Just put it in the end zone with the pass for a touchdown.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's the definition of catching the defense off guard there. They weren't expecting that.
And that totally goes against type, doesn't it? When you think 1st and goal from the 1, you're thinking running play.
Seibert on for the PAT. And that will make this a 4-point game. A 10-play drive that time. And it's capped off by the Browns' touchdown. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field and hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win first down. You win second down. And guess what? You start accumulating first downs. And that's what they need in order to not punt the ball again.
Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 27. From the gun, Jackson. A short throw caught by Andrews. And he sheds a tackle. Now he's got some space. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. A gain of 6 there on first.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
19 yards the pick up there. Move the chains.
Let's go.
And another thing that makes the comeback route really effective is that oftentimes after you've made the initial move, receivers breaking away from the defensive back, and that makes it a really tough play to defend. A nice chunk of yardage picked up there.
Jackson now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. Jackson from the shotgun. Rolling to his right. He's going to take off with it. He'll wind up getting right about 4 there on the scramble, and it's 2nd down.
So many times we talk about having good eye discipline when you're playing defense, making sure your eyes are in the proper place on a given play. Looks like that discipline came to the front there, didn't it? They were able to hold him for a short gain when he took off running.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Jackson. And the return out shy of midfield to the 46-yard line.
Let's go. Interception all day, baby.
Well, this is a defense that can confuse even the best of quarterbacks with their zone schemes. And here you've got a linebacker that's going to stay at home and just sit down in that zone. And this one basically comes right to him.
And now the Browns coming out on the field. They have the lead, obviously, late in the game. I guess the good news for them is if for some reason they would make a mistake, a field goal does the opposition no good.
Everyone loves to have a little bit of a cushion, and that helps you immeasurably. But the bottom line is, do all the things that you're taught in order to close out the game. Don't even let that become an issue.
Yeah, but it's still a one-possession game. This one not fully over yet. They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10 at their own 46. They begin this drive with Chubb. He'll be taken down at the 48 for a pickup of 2 yards. Offensively with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels?
Yeah, think about all the practices we've watched where they have that tempo period to go over things just like this, where they describe the scenario, tell you what they're looking for, and make sure that they're still attacking, yet at the same time not going so fast as to leave too much time on the clock.
They follow up the gain of 2 with a gain of 1 that time. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the 4th quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
This one complete into the hands of Higgins. A good pickup there for the Browns, 15 yards.
Couldn't just sit on it here, could they? Had to throw the ball on 3rd down. Got the big completion and the pickup. Fresh set of downs now. They've got to feel great.
And defensively, a backbreaker. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. A run for Nick Chubb. And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
The run defense, they have been porous at times today, but not that last go-around.
No, they really tightened it up, didn't they? They finally got themselves a win because all game long we've seen them get gashed. This time they played their responsibilities, played their keys, and made a nice stop.
They'll run with Hunt on 2nd down. Pushes him over. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. 13 yards to pick up there. Good for a Cleveland first.
Well, you know me, partner. I never tell them to back off of being aggressive, but sometimes you see the consequences when you're overly aggressive and you don't secure tackles. Guys break through.
Trying to sell out to pry that football loose, and just as you said, cost some yardage.
Yeah, you got to go get him. Stand him up first before you go for the ball. Don't just go for it initially.
They go play action here on 1st down. Pressure applied, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back at the 33-yard line. Calais Campbell picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
This offensive line flat out cannot handle this pass rush. We've seen it demonstrated time and time again to the tune of 7 sacks in this game thus far.
Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on 2nd down. Here's Mayfield, and the pressure gets to him again. Matt Judon able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. 0 accountability, and a sack resulted.
Mayfield in this Browns offense staring at a 3rd and long now after the sack. To the right side, and he's got Landry complete. That was the 8th play of the drive, so a somewhat fitting pickup of 8 yards.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the 1st down sticks. Don't let them get there, and they rallied and made the tackle.
So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. He made his first, this from 47 yards out. Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked. Now it's scooped up, and this is a live football. And he's into the clear. 30, past the 20, and he will score. Touchdown, Baltimore. As his guys are in for 6, as his guys have now moved out in front. Now an important extra point here to stretch this lead to a field goal. He's got it, and this is indeed up to a 3-point lead. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here comes the Browns offense back onto the field. Last time they had a little bit of a special teams breakdown. That field goal was blocked.
Yeah, and everything has to be precise in the kicking game. Snap, hold, kick. Obviously the blocking to keep people out. So what you really want to do is get in there and get 6 points and take the pressure off of those guys.
Mayfield going to lead the Browns up now 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Mayfield to throw it. It's caught over the middle. Hooper. And they work this well upfield across the 45. 23 yards the final tally. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence, and he's achieved that in this performance.
So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield. They go play action. Mayfield. Oh, he's going to let this go for the end zone. And nearly picked it off. He had a chance to come down with that in the end zone, but it'll wind up just being incomplete.
Trying to erase that deficit all at once. One big shot. He took it. Unfortunately for him, incomplete.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. 2nd and 10. That one is caught by Hunt. Give him 6 on the play, and that's going to bring up a 3rd down. They face a 3rd and 4 after that last completion gets them 6. They'll throw again. Here's Mayfield. He finds Beckham complete. And he's going to be taken down with the 1st down at the Ravens' 23. And passing yardage-wise, now up over 350 in this game. Pretty nice performance.
Definitely that, which usually means you're putting a lot of pressure on guys trying to cover. If you're a defensive back and they put over 350 yards on you, you've had a long day. The key to everything, if you're doing it without throwing interceptions or turning the ball over.
Good. 180.
Mike 40. Silver.
Good.
A 1st down throw for Mayfield. He finds Taylor, complete. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. 23 yards for the touchdown. And now they have taken a 4th quarter lead.
I think if you polled defensive backs, they would say the corner route, take that out, make it illegal, because that is so hard to recognize and so hard to adjust, because your first move is to not get beat in the middle of the field, and that's how they move you first before they break off to the corner.
But then as the wide receiver, great job. It's tough to turn those upfield and go, but he did a great job with it there.
Really good balance, really good body control, and how about the end result? A touchdown.
Extra point by Seibert, up and good. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. So that drive spanned 5 plays. And it ends with a touchdown for Cleveland. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. This Ravens offense heads back out there, led by Lamar Jackson. And the interception that ended their previous drive, that might be one we look back on and say that was the turning point of this game.
Hey, partner, guess what? There's still time for a few more turning points in this ball game. They're only one score down.
Yeah, true. We could have some twists and turns. Stay tuned. Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Sliding out of the pocket. He'll get just a yard on the scramble. It's 2nd down.
He certainly had plenty of success running the ball, and right now I'm getting the sense that he's looking to take off and run every time he steps back to throw it.
But they did a nice job there collapsing on him and holding him to a short gain. Throwing again on 2nd down. Jackson, they'll roll him out right. He's going to take off with it. Lamar Jackson, such a threat with those legs, able to improvise and get the first.
How many times have we seen this late in the 4th quarter? Because you know the pass rush is getting after him, and they get upfield, get that great push, and what do they create? Space, and he takes off.
On 1st and 10, it's Jackson. And now he'll tuck it and run. It won't be a sack, but it's no gain, and it brings up 2nd down. Fourth quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a 1-score game. So it's Raven football here as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. To throw again on 2nd down. Jackson. Looking left sideline, it's complete. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. A big one there for the Ravens. It goes for 18. They got exactly what they wanted there. Out route, catch, get out of bounds, stop the clock.
And I have to criticize defense here because you know the situation. You want to keep them inbounds and have the clock run. So I'm sitting on the outside portion of the field and not letting them throw an out route. Throw anything inside and I'll make the tackle. An out route? That's not the way you're supposed to play it.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Throwing now is Jackson. And that is incomplete here. There have been quite a few plays they might look back on and say, we really have hurt ourselves, and that was another example.
And this is late-game execution. Everything on the line, so it all has to come together properly. The throw's made. Where's the catch? Got to catch in that spot.
From the 34, they'll come to the line on 2nd and 10. He's back to throw. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags. Well, when you're leading in the 4th quarter, that's not the penalty you want.
Not at all, and now your discipline comes into question. Having poise this stage of the game, you can't have those kind of plays.
So now then the penalty's got him set up with a 1st and goal. After the penalty, it's Ingram. And a short pickup there down to about the 9. Only a yard on the pickup there. 2nd and goal.
Well, they picked up a little bit of yardage there, and now, in this situation, should be in no hurry to run a play really fast. Let the clock wind down.
The Ravens moving quickly here as the clock runs. They'll fake the give to Ingram. Now Jackson looking end zone, but it's incomplete. So he's unable to complete it there, and just not the game that you would expect from him. He's been off the mark really start to finish.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what exactly is going on. Is he a little bit dinged up here, or is he just off just by a bit? Maybe he can get it back in this situation. He'll need to.
A lot of tired bodies on that field, but this is a big play. 3rd and goal. Got a man, it's caught for a Ravens touchdown. Mark Andrews there to make the grab as his guys have taken the lead here in the final 2 minutes.
Wow, I know it's a never-say-never situation, but to me, that looks like that's the one that's going to finish them off.
A score that puts them in front here late, but now you got to rally your kick team, don't you, and say the last thing we need is a big return.
And what happens is guys get overeager, get out of their lane because they're so excited they want to make the last tackle. You mess up, could come back at you a long way.
Tucker with the extra point. So it's now a 3-point game here in the closing stages as a field goal now can only tie it. So that drive goes 8 plays, and it's capped off by the Baltimore score. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. Now Mayfield and the Browns down 34-31, a minute 12 to go. They need at minimum 3 points out of this as they come up 1st and 10. They'll go screen here to Hunt. Space to maneuver at the 40. And he'll be out of bounds right at the 40. 14 yards, and it's a Cleveland 1st down. That's what they need right now. Get the 1st down, get out of bounds, stop the clock.
Just playing smart football, understanding the situation, making the plays necessary, and making sure that clock stops at every opportunity.
Mayfield to throw. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And that'll wind up incomplete. Try to give his man room to run under it, but it's 2nd down. The way he's thrown the football today, almost a surprise when he doesn't complete a pass like happened there, but he needs a few more to get his guys downfield.
Well, the way he's thrown it leads him to believe that he's going to get those completions. And that means the guys going out for passes, they'll run even harder because they expect it as well.
Now Mayfield over the middle and into the hands of his receiver Landry. Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts as they get it with under a minute to go now in the football game. This defense tightening up a bit. That last catch just 1 yard, making it 3rd and 9. Here's Mayfield. And it's complete. Hooper. And he's going to be taken down with the 1st down at the Ravens' 38-yard line. They're making steady progress, but I see your face. You're worried about that clock.
I'm worried about the clock, and at some point, you have to have a splash play in there as well.
Try to hurry to the line on the very outskirts of field goal range. Mayfield. It's caught by OBJ. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8. So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on first down. Mayfield leaves it for Hunt on the draw. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down. Now the Browns signal for the second of their timeouts as he'll stop it with 11 seconds remaining in the ball game.
Okay, baby, I see you.
So 3rd down, they need to get to the 28 for a first. Back to the ground, this time it's Chubb. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. And now with 6 seconds remaining, they're going to burn their final timeout. Here's Austin Seibert now for the Browns field goal. This to potentially send us to overtime. So now with 6 seconds remaining, we get a timeout on the field. Here's Seibert for the Browns field goal. This to potentially send us to overtime. And his kick is good. And they will tie this game here in the final seconds. So a money kick there in the final seconds. And now, barring any hijinks on the kickoff here, partner, I think you and I, we're going to settle in for a little overtime.
And I wouldn't have it any other way. This has been a dogfight all through regulation. No reason to think it won't continue in the extra period.
So here comes the kickoff now, all even here in this 4th quarter. This is taken at the 3. Final whistle blows, and we need some extra time here to decide who will be the victor.
60 minutes, just not enough some days to decide who's going to win the game.
So a little teaching moment here. Overtime rules. Remind us how this goes, partner.
Okay, so in the past, we had sudden death. First team to score wins, but no longer. Now, if the team receives the ball, scores a touchdown, they win the game. If they kick a field goal, though, or don't score, the other team gets a possession. And after both teams get a possession, then we're into sudden death. First team to score wins the game.
So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. This fielded at the 2. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. The Ravens offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. They control their own destiny here. They have the football in overtime. Obviously, a touchdown would win it.
And I think teams around the league are still adjusting to the idea of going downfield, scoring a touchdown wins the game, because they were used to just going downfield and trying to get in field goal range to win a game. Still having to make that transition. Let's face it now, the ones who are doing it best know they need to go down, attack, put the ball in the end zone, and not leave it up to a field goal and give the other team a chance.
Yeah, as we said, they control their own destiny now. They'll run with Ingram here to begin the drive. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that, got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12.
Switch it, switch it, switch it.
Again, they'll run with Ingram. It'll be a gain of 5, and it's going to bring up a 3rd and about 7 left.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on 3rd down.
They go screen. This is Ingram. 12 yards to pick up there. Good for a Raven first.
Let's go, boys. Let's go.
Let's give a little credit there. The offensive play caller sensed that the screen pass was available. Whenever you're getting a lot of heavy pressure towards your quarterback, that's when you're thinking about running the screen and using that pressure against the defense. And it worked very well there for a 1st down.
Here we go. Let's go, D. It's going to be a long day on this. Let it go.
Jackson on 1st down. He'll buy some time right. And now he's going to use his legs. He's got the 1st down and more inside the 40. And down to the 16-yard line. 39 yards there. A big one.
Let's go.
But to me, this leads to the question, do you admire the way he puts his body out there all the time, or do you think he should protect himself a little bit more?
Well, he's been on the ground several times with all those sacks that he's taken. So, I don't know. I kind of admire him not sliding down there, don't you?
I'm with you on that one. The meter definitely leans towards admiration.
So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on 1st down. From the gun, Jackson, and that'll be knocked away. It's incomplete. And the safety, Carl Joseph, there to knock that one away.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on 1st down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on 1st down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up 2nd down.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. Draw play. Ingram now. Ingram's got the 1st down and more. And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. Partner, a great game that we got to see and making it extra special. Not only did I get 4 quarters with you in this one, I got some overtime, a little whipped cream on top.
Look at you, trying to make this whole thing palatable.
I just want you to pay for my meal later.
You really just wanted 4 quarters what you wanted, but how much fun was that? We had that type of a game where we got us to overtime, and then we get the dramatic ending to finish things off as well. What a game.
So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. The Ravens are victorious here as we say so long from Baltimore.